Right, this is a video for thingyee1118. It's sort of a video request. He wanted to know what was inside my control unit. So basically here we have, they are all 250 watt ballasts, all being controlled by the red switches. The red switches control all of these. These are all, that's a 40 amp breaker, contactor, sorry. The rest are all 25 amp contactors, all Schneider. Now the main contactor, which is the one you hear clunking all the time, is a 90 amp. It's got a 75 amp auxiliary on the side, and it's got it's a very low ampage one, auxiliary on the top here. One of them is an NC, and one of them is I can't think. One of them is connected, one of them is not. And when you turn it on, it swaps around. You know what I mean. And one of those goes to the fan, and one of those goes to the light and the sounder. So that's sort of like the main parts of the ballast unit. To excuse the light, so not very good coming off of the thingy. There's some other parts that are in there. Got the key switch, your light and neutral rails, switches, safety stop switch, current transformer, one of the amp meters, and the red switches. And then you've got the bridge rectifier. Basically with the bridge rectifier, right, that's why I've got such bad picture. You've got 8mm cable on the input, and it's round a ferrite ring for filtering. All that cable is 5mm cable, where it doesn't look it, but it doesn't look it because those diodes are huge. It's actually bolted on a 6mm bit of alley plate, and they are 380 amp at 1.2 kV, and they're obviously in a full wave configuration for a full wave bridge rectifier. Next picture we've got capacitors, which I'll go on to that in a minute, and that is why all this has been done, because that's my finger after I got bit with the MOT. Not nice. I don't think there's any more, just some ferrites. Right, so basically some safety features. You all know how this all switches. Can switch between 270 and about 415 volts. That turns my ballast on and off. I've got my main power switch here. That runs off of its own, all of the control unit runs off of its own system. So the variac runs off of one breaker in the consumer unit up the back there, and the control unit runs off of another one. So without one or the other, without them both being on, it won't actually do anything. So been also asked for some safety things. First thing I'm going to say is stupid mistake to make. If you're taking medication, diazepam, morphine, whatever, if it's something that's making you tired, sleepy, anything like that, don't mess with the high voltage. Capacitors, we've got always leave them shorted out, because they can gain electricity. You'll go to it one day and you'll get a shock, and if you are going to do it and charge them up and make them bang, make sure you are wearing earplugs, because earplugs are gonna, well, obviously protect your ears. It sounds like a stupid thing, but when one of them things cracks, it cracks and it hurts, and I'm not joking, it really does hurt. You'll also notice, you might have noticed this before, I've got a big bottle of isopropyl alcohol there. I use that to clean my chicken sticks, because believe it or not, chicken sticks got grease and crap running down the sides of them. You could get electrocuted. Now, depending on what you're doing, depending on the size of your chicken stick you're going to need. You don't need a huge great chicken stick if you're only going to be playing with a ZVS driver. Yes, you need one big enough, but you can take it to the extreme. So a bit more, I've got an input voltage, so I don't just turn it on and I could get any amount of volts out. So I'm put up to 150. There's nothing plugged in, so it's safe to show you. Have to turn the switch on, push the air actuated switch, and it gives me an output voltage. I've got an ammeter for measuring the input or the before the variac, so I know I'm not pulling too much from the mains, and I've also got one for after, so I know how much I'm pulling from the variac so I don't blow my variac up. Although it's only a 30-ish amp rated, we can't really tell, we're not really too sure. I've pulled 80 amps off it and it hasn't complained. So another piece of safety advice for you: don't use shit screwdrivers, use decent ones like that. Again, thank you very much, Andy, that is mostly appreciated. So there's one other thing: sounders, lights, always good if you're going to be messing around with these kind of things. You do not like the sound of the sounders, okay? The sound of a sounder, I will put the sounder on for you so that you can hear it. It is annoying, but it will go off when you're doing what you're doing. But you know that that system is live. I've got a switch in there because obviously when I'm doing things that aren't high voltage, I don't want that buzzer going all the time. But I've also got this, which when plugged in, I will get a constant. Okay, so if I'm going to be at 3 meters length away, there's a reason for it. So I think it's safer to have that on there, and obviously got a sort of stop switch built in, and you've got your on-off switch to turn it on and off. But what you've all got to remember is this is all ran through the 90 amp contactor, which is run by the foot actuated switch. Okay, now that clunk is the 90 amp contactor that I showed you earlier. That also cuts the fans in up there, as I was telling you earlier, and also cuts that off. All from that one big 90 amp contactor with the auxiliaries on it. So the last thing I want to just show you is I have seen people using chicken sticks. They use things like a wooden curtain pole. Yay. No, not yay. Crap. Don't use it. It's absolutely ridiculous. You should not be using wood. You need plastic, PVC, not black, because it can contain carbon, and you need the right length for the right job. Now I'm going to show you, I've seen videos on YouTube of people playing with pole pigs and using wooden chicken sticks. So I'm going to show you why wooden chicken sticks are bad ideas. Another safety tip: HCFX, unplug safety first. Probably one of the best safety tips. Also, don't get distracted by things. Whether there is naked women walking in front of you, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. And this should be a good demonstration to why. Right, we should have this in view. This is a bit of wood on the end of my stick here. Okay, I better turn it on. Can you all see that? There you go, and it's just tripped my trip. So I can't show you it anymore, but that's the other advantage of having MCBs, RCDs. It trips the trip when it's not supposed to do things that aren't supposed to happen. So, as you saw, that thing lit up like it was a piece of metal. It wasn't, it's a stick. So, I will say thanks for watching, and I hope you learned something from it. And if there's anyone else that's got any other questions on safety or anything, you know, feel free to ask, because safety is a major issue when you're playing with these kind of voltages. So thanks for watching, and if you like, please comment, subscribe, all the other stuff. Thanks.